When you visit a state as big and diverse as Texas, there are a million different trips you can take. Let's say you've got an appetite for whitewater kayaking. You can get your own, so this is why they call it Devil's River, trip to Texas. Or maybe you have an actual appetite. I'll take a pound of brisket, 6 ribs, 3 links of sausage, and a piece of pecan pie. Trip to Texas. Go to traveltexas.com/get-your-own for the only trip to Texas that matters. Yours.
What do 8 bags of concrete mix, a cooler full of 30-pound sea bass, and a 10-inch compound miter saw have in common? They're all things that are easier to load in and out of the bed of the new F-150. Thanks to its new available Pro Access tailgate that's also a swing gate. The new 2024 Ford F-150. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Available starting early 2024. Pro Access tailgate available starting spring 2024. Cargo and load capacity limited by weight and weight distribution.
What makes a Carnival cruise fun? That's up to you. Maybe it's a ride on boat, a roller coaster at sea, or a deep tissue massage at the spa. Creole-inspired cuisine at Emerald's Bistro to laid-back bites at Guy's Burger Joint. Excursions that take you from jungle adventures to beach stays at Mahogany Bay and sunsets from the top deck. Long story short, no one does fun like Carnival. Carnival, choose fun.
Ships Registry, Bahamas, Panama.
Hey friends, are you struggling to attract and retain top talent? If you're worried about recruiting and retention, consider Insperity, a leading HR provider. They'll help you improve hiring and compensation practices so you can spend more time growing your business and less time on HR. Visit Insperity.com and download their free ebook on how to build your dream team. Don't let a lack of talent hinder your success. See how Insperity provides HR that makes a difference at Insperity.com.
Book this hotel, and I need you to do it right away. And there was some story about it's a surprise, we're all going on a vacation, and Paige doesn't know. It was like weird. Mm-hmm. Jackie and I are very close. Mm-hmm. And I said, if you get me in another country and surprise me with a wedding, you're going to regret it. So you better tell me, girl, when you get married. And she goes, dang. So that's how I found out about Morocco. I was very excited, very excited.
Hey, left my Travel Tuesday happy hour where we interview dope people doing dope things from around.
I'm a dope person.
And you are season 4. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and hit that notification bell so you guys know when new episodes drop. Force 22 is very important to me and my wife, Jacqueline Jackson, that you guys met last season on Couples Goals. It was a trip of a lifetime. We invited about 50 plus of our friends and family to come out and join us while we give our vows to one another. So with that being said, this season is all about interviewing some of those dope people that came on the trip. Like this beautiful lady here today.
Like me. I'm the dopest one. Just kidding.
So tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Shibisha. Some of you may know me as a different name that I will not say. But Paige is actually my brother-in-law. Jackie is my sister. I am from the Bay Area. I'm born and raised in Oakland. I'm back here in the Bay Area after some years. And let's see, what do I want to tell you about? From a business perspective, I help early stage and growth stage businesses get to their next level. So that's what I do from a business perspective.
Okay. Yeah. So Cali, New York, Cali, what's your favorite?
Both.
Oh, you both.
It's always been that. Well, I get to say that because my father is from Brooklyn. My father's from the Sty. My father's from Bed-Stuy. My mother is from Oakland, so I've always been a dual citizen.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Those citizens, being a citizen grants you the ability to travel the world, a visa-less in some places.
Yeah.
What introduced you to travel in the first place?
The first place I wanted to travel was New York. I was very fascinated that my father was from there. I was fascinated by his accent. He sounded different from everybody else in Oakland. So that's the first place that I wanted to travel. And I got to at 17. And I think from that point on, when I moved to New York, and New Yorkers go everywhere, like they travel all over the place. So I feel like living in New York is really kind of what cemented that. And now I have 4 places on my list immediately.
Oh, wow. Okay. So what do you look for when you do start planning on travel?
Let's see. Architecture, because I like to wander. I'm always wanting to just go off on my own and see what's there. Preferably a language that I don't speak. Preferably people who I know nothing about. I like for it to be as far from my regular life as possible.
Okay.
Yeah. And great food. I really am not going if you have a reputation for terrible food. I'm not going.
Food is key. Food is everything.
Food is key.
So do you have like a bucket list of places you've wanted to visit?
Yes. Italy, Paris. I spent the night in the airport. That doesn't count. Italy, Seychelles, and Kenya is on my list.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Kenya is on my list. And back to Morocco. So I don't know if that's a bucket list because I've been, but I'm going back. So I'm going to keep it on the bucket list.
Okay. I mean, all favoritism aside, though, what's been your most memorable trip so far?
Okay. Morocco 1, Jamaica 2.
Let's talk about Jamaica because we're going to come.
I knew you were going to say let's talk about it.
So let's talk
about democratic.
Let's talk about Jamaica.
Wow. Jamaica, was that my first time out of the country? Yes. I had already been living in New York, so it was very interesting to go to Jamaica after you've been in New York for some years because you develop expectations.
Yeah, Jamaica is not Jamaica Queens. Don't get it twisted.
You develop expectations. I think it was really awesome to be in a place we went with a big group of people. It was nice to be in the weather. It was light. I love the beach. I'm from Oakland, so the water and me, we get along really well. It was amazing. What I remember most about Jamaica is how much I did not appreciate the food at my resort.
What? Oh, the resort. Okay. I mean, we're not going to give them names.
Okay. And we're not going to even do it. We're not going to even do it. But going off the resort and just meeting regular people, that's my kind of carrying on. That's the thing that I love to do. So yeah, I think the people that we met off the resort was amazing. Dunn's River Falls, I thought for sure I was going to die. I was like, I'm dead. So doing that was probably the first time I'd ever done anything risky with my life like that. I tend to do that. But yeah, Jamaica was amazing. Jamaica was amazing.
And so you mentioned earlier architecture, language, and culture that draws you. What did you think of the architecture, language, and culture of Jamaica?
We didn't get to really go into the country, which I would have liked to do. I feel like we were around a lot of the touristy stuff. So it cemented how much that's not the kind of travel I like to do.
Right.
So I think for me, I want to get as far away from tourist attractions as possible. When I would come to visit New York, never wanted to go to the Empire State Building. I didn't want to do any of the things that people like that do. I wanted to go into the neighborhoods. And so I think, don't give me the list of places that people who travel to this place go. It's not the list I want.
Gotcha. And so that brings us to Morocco. Okay? So I've been breaking this up into like 3 parts for our guests. The first part is, how did you find out about it?
Okay, this is a great story. So I get a call from Jackie, who's like, what did she say to me? I need you to book this, because she was trying not to tell me what was going on. Book this hotel, and I need you to do it right away. And there was some story about it's a surprise, we're all going on a vacation, and Paige doesn't know. It was like weird. Jackie and I are very close. And I said, if you get me in another country and surprise me with a wedding, you're going to regret it. So you better tell me, bro, when you get married. And she goes, crap. Dang. So that's how I found out about Morocco. I was very excited. Very excited.
So now, and mind you, we gave everybody a year's notice so you guys can get things together. And after that, I was like, look, all of my friends aren't like yours. I think she got like 7 people to drop on the hotels right away. The hotel right away. Some of my friends were like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it. So that was like, all right, we're going to have to let people know what this is. That's where Stella, to help with the organization and prepping for the trip. Like, what was your prep like when you're going on a destination wedding like this? What's usually the prep experience, like buying tickets, trying to figure out what to wear? Now, granted, my wife put together a guide for the entire trip. So if you didn't know what to wear, you didn't read any of the messages.
Supposed to be prepared.
Apparently. So what was that like leading up to the day that you guys had to leave?
But I will admit that I did see a preview of the dress guide before it was shared on the group. And so I didn't get a presentation in advance. And I totally agree with putting together attire guides. Listen, let me tell you something. You can't trust people's fashions when they over 35. Something happens. You got to give people examples. I'm just saying.
Got you.
No, I thought that was really actually helpful because what I've discovered is that people actually want to be prepared. They want to be able to look their best when they're going somewhere. And it was just, I think, nice to have one less thing to have to think about on your own. So I actually think that guide was really helpful. And I know people were referring to it quite a bit when they were talking to me.
Nice.
So I do actually think that it just gave people one less detail to have to manage.
And so you mentioned earlier you're not the type of person that like do group travel with like the set itinerary and stuff like that. Pretty touristy. How much helpful or unhelpful was having a travel agent assist with, some of the accommodations as we put it out there?
I think that the first time you do something, without Stella, what do I know about Morocco, right? So it's one of those things where if you have someone who is doing that for you, and plus there were 50 plus people, I don't think that that's a thing that you can wing. I do think you have to give people something, and then they can kind of riff off of that when they want to.
Right.
So for me, in this instance, I don't know how else that could have been done. But personally, I do have to admit that I was running away a little bit. I was running away. So, and there are a lot of pictures that I was not in because I was off in something trying to absorb because I'm a wanderer at heart. I want to be in it.
Right.
So it was very difficult to pull me away from Morocco to get me to take a picture the entire time.
Well, I mean, if you didn't take a picture, you weren't there.
I had a lot of pictures. Not as many as other people. I was around here.
So that's all the planning phase, right? Now you're traveling out to Morocco. You're coming from the West Coast to the East Coast.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
What I would say is that I highly recommend you get what you pay for when it comes to travel, especially when it comes to international travel. I have no bad things to say about KLM or Air France.
Right.
Impeccable. We flew into Amsterdam. Nothing bad to say about the Amsterdam airport. It was amazing. The lounge that we were in while we waited for our connecting flight to Morocco, fantastic.
All right.
Just go directly with an airline. I don't recommend Expedia. I kind of fired them about 3 years ago. This is a public service announcement. Can I say swear words on here?
You say what you want.
Fuck them. Yeah, no, it's like, no.
Your opinions are never get us down about the opinions of the show and or the brand.
Man, gosh, they gave us a hard way to go. But we got there. But up until the day before we left, we didn't have a solidified return flight because there were lots of cancellations and lots of moving parts. So what I would say is go directly with an airline, spend the money to make sure that when you get on a plane, the plane is going to be there. It's going to be clean. It's not going to be part-time. That's, to me, the flight is the place to spend.
Right. Okay.
So that was my learning.
Okay. And then landing in Morocco for the first time. What was it like for you?
It's just perfect.
So you was so genuine the way we're in.
I like the flight was awesome. The flight was awesome. I have nothing bad to say about KLM. They did their thing. I just do think that our experience with Expedia was so bad, but KLM and for sure Air France, they like made up for it. It was impeccable.
So a little backstory. We are traveling. So between, I believe, November and about late February, a lot of flights were being canceled because of increased COVID numbers in Europe. The Kingdom of Morocco was not allowing you to connect from certain countries. And a lot of the countries pretty much in Southern Europe. And so the Kingdom of Morocco was blocking Germany, France, Portugal, Spain. So if you're coming from any of those countries, you would get a notification letting you know that, hey, by the way, the Morocco portion of your trip has been canceled and you'll have to figure it out yourself. And I believe what you're talking about is just kind of getting all that situated through Expedia.
I don't know. You know what? We didn't have any, I still don't know what happened with our return flight. I don't know why that happened. We flew into Amsterdam, which was go back the same way that we came. And then suddenly that was no longer an option, but it wasn't an option like 3 days before we were really flying out. So I never was ever able to explain what exactly happened. And because we went through Expedia, they didn't know, like, there's such a third party.
Right.
And when you call an airline and you tell them that you purchased your ticket through Expedia, they will say, well, then you need to keep talking to them. We have nothing to say to you, miss. So that was, for me, really stressful.
Oh, so it was your outbound traffic, your outbound flight.
It was my return home.
Wow.
And they said to me, there's one flight and it's on Air France, which is how we got on Air France returning. And they said, there's one flight, so you can take this or you can get your money back. What? Yes, they would day my flight is out. Like, we're 72 hours out and you're calling me with this? I mean, they called and they texted. I was like, oh my gosh, what are we supposed to do? And I was like, well, we have to figure something out because we can't not go. So that was stressful. We were stressful dealing with them. They are not very efficient from a customer service perspective. So what I will say is that the wedding of the century made up for it. We had a great time, and they were in the background.
Let's go back to the wedding of the century. So you landed in Morocco and
went to the duty-free for the liquor.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's also Ramadan's. Everything's pretty much limited access. And then you get to the Janan Tamsnau. What were your thoughts?
We were driving up to Janan Tamsnau, and I was like, what kind of desert? What is this?
Kind of trap they setting us.
Listen, I was very concerned. I should mention that my tastes are kind of discerning. And so I was driving up and I'm looking around and I'm just like, they open the gates and we drive in and I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. And so they let us off and walked into the lobby. I don't think we had seen you all yet. And so slowly but surely, several of the party members started to walk in and, it was a reunion we hadn't seen some of the people who were in the party, it was the first time I'd ever met them, but others are like my people, my family, and I had not seen them since all this pandemic foolery. So it was a really awesome reunion. And the lobby of Janan Thompson is some Moroccan fabulousness. So I was like, yes, sure it is.
So the first day we got there was pretty much just chill and relax. Then after that, it was more, I think Thursday night, they took you guys to the Medina, right?
Yes.
So, so the first night we had a pep talk with y'all, like going to Medina the next day, some tips and tricks. So one, did those tips and tricks help when you got to the Medina? And two, what was the Medina in itself experience like?
So what I remember most about the pep talk was, or the thing that I probably locked in and cared to really think a lot about, was making sure you had your currency together, right? That was like the biggest thing, because you're out and we're about and you're with groups of people, and it's just really easy to make sure that your currency situation is situated. Everything else, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you tell me to be safe, I'm gonna break the rules. I don't do safe.
You did say you wandered off, and if you haven't been to Medina, it's a huge city, and typically in the courtyard area ish, starts kind of food shopping and stuff like that. But as you entrench yourself into the Medina, you start to seeing like side stores, side restaurants, and stuff like that. It's literally a labyrinth. So going in there alone, like you do, is not always recommended. But luckily, GPS was working. So if you needed to find your way out, you could.
And I know I would have had a bunch of rule breakers, so I never break the rules by myself. I had some partners in crime that was like, let's go, we're going over here. I thought the Medina was like the perfect form of ridiculously. There was everything in there. People doing henna, people selling food, people selling leather, horses all over the place, men and arguing with each other, like vendors getting into, like it was the perfect experience of mayhem. I loved every second of that. I know the Medina drove something less crazy. I love the Medina. Yeah. I wanted to stay down there longer. I love all the crazy. Give it all. Give me all the experience. Give me all the people trying to get me to buy stuff. Give it all. I want it all. I wanted to stay at the Medina. I could have spent an entire day there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like all the crazy.
Okay. So later that evening, we kind of came home and had the dinner before. What were your thoughts?
The outdoor dinner.
Yeah. What were your thoughts about the happy hour and the outdoor dinner?
I thought the happy hour was amazing. It's a bit dark.
We are outside.
Oh, it's a bit dark. I thought it was amazing. I thought Jackie looked fantastic in the black with the beaded, stunning. I thought everyone looked amazing. Everyone was so excited to be there. It was really beautiful to be in a space where people were so loving. Either they loved you, or they loved Jackie, or they loved the both of you, but there was a lot of love in the space, and so I thought that made it amazing. I love seeing your dad dance.
Hey, man.
He was getting busy.
Spirit moved him. He felt like, let me rock out with the spirit.
He had to let y'all know he still got a little, you know what I mean? Don't try to act like he ain't got that. He had that. So I thought that was amazing. I loved the outdoor dinner at the long table. I loved the candlelight. It was well done. It was well done. It was well done.
Shout out to Janan Thompson and the staff. Staff did their thing and really held it down. And then she opened up her house later on that evening.
That's really glorious. That people wouldn't look at that lady because I ain't gonna say. But I understand. No, it was a good time.
Okay.
It was a good time at the house.
Okay, so the next day, ceremony, everybody's getting ready to sit down, and your dad is walking Jackie down the aisle. But before all of that, we collected everybody's phones. So I wanted to kind of get your ideas of two things. One, the idea of us taking your phone, did that help you guys immerse yourself in the experience, or do you think it wasn't necessary?
I thought it was fine. Like, I don't think that one, I should say I'm a consultant, so I take people's phones. So for me, I'm like, oh, that's fine. Yeah. And you got it back after, right? So there was, it wasn't as if your phone was gone the entire day. It's for the ceremony. Maximum, you didn't have your phone for an hour.
Right.
You'll live. It's fine. And
so take it from us. This was probably the best thing our photographer ever offered was, allowing the people to be in the moment and really kind of enjoy the experience. Because far too often, even if you're not taking pictures, you're on your phone scrolling through Instagram, and then by accident you tap on a video with an audio, and the next thing you're disrupting the show or the experience. And also, with a bunch of cameras in their way, the photographer's job gets that much more difficult. So with that being said,
us, we are pretty. Yeah, I didn't grow up in a phone like that. You did. You need a tree.
And so the other part, your dad walking Jackie down the aisle. How did you feel about that?
I thought that was wonderful. I didn't know if he was going to make it. I thought he was going to burst into tears.
Your dad's old school. I interviewed him last, and I thought that some tears was going to drop out. But he's doing it. He had it like a G thing on it. He had it like a G.
He had that was such a beautiful experience. What I would say, you may not get tears from him, but you will get him to express when he really loves something. Right? So for him to see my dad have something that he's talking about a lot, where he is every day giving you a different experience that's kind of landing for him.
Right.
That is great. That's how you know he's been affected by how much he shares. He's a pretty mellow dude most of the time. He's cracking jokes all of the time. But when he is constantly talking about an experience that he had over and over again, then you know that it was a beautiful experience for him. So I thought it was so beautiful to see him be so affected. And just, my dad is like the strong, mellow guy, and he's mostly doing things for other people.
Right.
So to witness him have an experience that was just about him being able to be in the moment was very amazing for me, because I don't get to actually experience that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The day it come.
Yeah, like, he's everything to everybody.
Right.
He won't let you give him a party, which is why he's never had a birthday party. And when I tried to push on it one year, I got told to stop.
Okay. Yeah.
So he doesn't ever really, there are very few moments where you see him in a moment that is about him.
Got it. Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. And so the ceremony itself, I freestyled mine, and my wife wrote a 4-page letter.
Hey, man. She was prepared.
And then, Janae officiated it. What was your thought over that whole experience?
I thought it was really beautiful. One, because it's my parents. For one, it's walking down. I thought, what is officiating? So it was beautiful for me to be a part of. I thought that they both did an amazing job. I don't want to call it a job. I don't know another word, but job is not the word. I think there was an experience that was beautiful, and to see my sister, my bonus mother, my father in the moment, I thought it was really beautiful, to be very honest. And when I look back on that, I know what I felt seeing it, and to hear them have such a connection to it, and to be able to share it and share it again, and to see them be so affected by it. I ain't gonna talk about you, and I said I never gonna do you like that. But when something means something, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it meant something to you, and the fact that you were willing to allow us to be a part of that moment, regardless of how long you had known any of us, but for you to be having such a big moment in your life and to be able to express that to everyone who was there and to allow us to be in that moment with you, I thought that was dope.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I do. I kind of wanted to make a joke about it because I'm a smart ass. But my honest feeling about it is that, I thought it was such an awesome thing for you to allow 50 people who you knew to varying degrees to be a part of something so monumental in your life. So I really appreciated that.
Oh, no problem. But you guys made it, right? Because it was one of those where it was a positive vibes only trip. And, we got very little complaints, unless it was maybe accommodation related. But even then, nobody really complained loud enough that it would disrupt the energy of the trip. And so from there, we had our nice reception with the buffet style Moroccan meals, jeans, some chicken, some lamb, and then these amazing jars, these PB&J jars. What are some of the things that you thought of putting into your jar coming from Morocco?
I still don't know what I want to put in there. There's a part of me that doesn't want to put anything in there. Yeah, there's a part of me, and I stole an extra one, so I have a duo.
So what's the struggle in how to capture that? There was so much, or there's not one thing that you feel like could be encapsulating in such a memory?
It never, to be the honest thing, I'm staring at it now. Said, yeah, I wonder, like, what is she looking at? But I'm staring at her now, and I think, I don't know that I want to put anything in there. I think that they are good by themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the one thing that came back from Morocco that I haven't actually used. Everything else was like a notebook, some spices, whatever, all of the things. Those things I can get used, but I think this is really for me to remember.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. See? They have you all complicated. So, the next day, part of the excursions was the hammam. I couldn't wait for the hammam, but if you haven't been to a hammam, can you give them your rendition or your experience of a hammam?
So, continue, secret. So I skipped the hammam. Little belt and singing song. I did it right. Okay, and that it was because I had actually been through a hammam before.
Okay.
So
you can still explain what a hammam is. You could have lied to us and said you went.
No, you can't lie. This is my church is.
You right.
So a hammam is a how can I explain this? So I would explain it as an exfoliating bathing experience. So in a hammam, we're going to get exfoliated. You're going to soak in a bath. It's just a beautiful way to relax and to nourish your skin, to get all your dry skin off. It's really a way for you to pamper yourself, to be in communion with other people. So that is what a hammam is. I think there are other things that a hammam may do depending on where you go that is going to be specific to them. But overall, traditionally, the hammam happens before the wedding or before whatever you're celebrating. But in this case, the hammam is needed for after because there was a lot going on. So I skipped the hammam. I slept.
Listen, I slept in the first 2 days. Listen. So here's another thing I did. When participating in a group trip, you don't have to do everything. Granted, you paid for everything. You don't have to do everything. And that's okay, right? I think, for me, a lot of times I communicate with the group. I just let them know, like, look, You guys may not see me periodically because I like my alone time, especially when with a lot of people. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of excitement, right?
Yeah.
And so I tend to like to mellow out throughout a trip so that I'm not disappearing the entire trip. So, depending on the people you're with, how much you pay for the excursions, some of the excursions are expensive. So you may want to go to everything, but you really don't have to do everything because, it's a vacation. You can't go on vacation and make it feel like work, So just to wrap up the trip, like, what would you say, what did Marrakesh leave you with as far as an impression?
I didn't have expectations for Morocco.
Okay.
Right? I didn't know what to expect. And I like that because I think it just created space for me to enjoy everything. What I enjoyed a lot, like the moments that I enjoyed were silly moments, like us all around having dinner and hookah, and some people are laughing and talking, some people are falling asleep, there's just like moments that are just about being there and being together. I think those were great for me. Of course, the Medina was one of my favorite places to go. I discovered my favorite dessert ever, and I found a place in San Francisco that makes it square for me. What else? I thought the people were, what I expected about the people, but I found them charming. Like, I thought they were really genuine and sweet. And the ones that we got a chance to talk to, and then the other ones were just doing whatever they were doing, just living. And that's cool too. I definitely did walk away with the question of why I only speak one language. Not from a judgment space, but from like an opportunity space. Like, I could actually learn another language. And now I'm thinking about that from the perspective of just because I want to, and it would be fun to learn. Not from a learn a second language where you can make more money. So it's not some other kind of not being sold on it. But the reality that in many other places, speaking at a minimum of 2 languages is pretty standard.
Right.
And I was like, I could do that. I can learn some stuff. Speak some other things. So that was a big impression. I think the biggest thing was, though, just to live. There's always going to be a thing to do. You're never going to run out of stuff to do, ever, ever, ever. But like, one of the things that we get to do, I think, especially this generation, more so than other generations, and hopefully the ones coming after us will get to do it more than we do. But there's such a thing called thriving, right? That's really living. And so you can, and sometimes when you go to a place you've never been, you're uncomfortable. It's so different from what you've ever done. But who says that what you've ever done is the only way to do a thing and that it's the right way to do a thing?
Right.
Who says that, right? Live life. Go experience things and people and spaces that are just completely unique and unlike anything that you do. And so if there was a thing about Morocco, it was the reminder to do that more often. Because really, all of the other stuff that you got to do, you're telling yourself a story. You don't got to do anything. It's a story. So go live and go experience when you have it, because we're ashamed to have as much abundance as this generation of Black people get to have, and to still be in this mentality of that you can't do it. No, you can. Just make it the priority, and you will find that you actually can thrive and work and handle responsibilities. It's not just have to be an either or. Just make the decision and make it happen for yourself. So I think Morocco was like a serious reminder of, are you just going to work and are you just like going through the motions? Why are you designing your life that way? Go do stuff. So that's what I would say.
Interesting. Well, thank you very much. So earlier you mentioned you wish you would like kind of learn more languages and that you travel with an open mind. Right? So as a woman, As a Black woman, traveling while Black, how has one keeping your mind open help you really enjoy your trip? Sound like you kind of leveraged it for this trip in Morocco. Does having an open mind really help enhance the Black travel experience?
I don't know if I can say if it does or if it doesn't. I can tell you how it affected me. And it doesn't ever occur to me to have a bad time.
Okay.
I don't tend to be a person, and that either could just be personality or just learned, but I don't tend to be a person who has a lot of apprehension around exploration. I have a lot of curiosity.
Okay.
And so if things are not like what I'm used to, I just don't really care. I don't require life to be like what I'm used to. I don't require travel and spaces I go to be anything like what I'm used to. I'm going to get whatever's going on because that's why I'm there. So I think that what it allows you to do is to have conversations you've never had. It allows you to see the world beyond the way that you're used to seeing the world. It allows you to have, I think joy is a choice, right? So you can be somewhere, for instance, when I said Jamaica, I didn't really love the food. Well, we just went after the resort and found food we liked. That doesn't have to be what my story was about Jamaica. If I didn't do that, then I allow the fact that this resort has food that I don't love because I'm living in New York and I'm used to, like, I have close friends. I'm used to serious, like I know people who can throw down. That's cool. But I'm not going to allow the fact that that's my experience. Okay, well then take me to the people that do that. So the same thing, I think it just allows you to have an experience that you enjoyed instead of allowing yourself to be a victim of something that's happening there, because not everything is going to be perfect, but make it a good trip for you.
Okay. So do you find it that as a Black person traveling, that language is important, right? So one of my guests stated that at times speaking English, especially in Europe, right? Speaking English kind of put us at an advantage because someone that could look like us, maybe from Africa, would get treated differently if they weren't speaking English, right? Or at least the accent we have coming from the United States. That's one. And then number two, do you feel that learning a different language would have helped enhance your travel experience?
So let me answer this second one first. Yes, I do think me being able to speak French would have just enhanced it because I think it's about connection. Right. You just get the opportunity to connect to more people. And I think just like your command of the English language opens spaces to you, right? I think your command of any language will open spaces for you because it just allows you to connect to other people.
Right.
And I think that is really important. That's a value of mine. So I think going into some of the museums, noticing that everything is in English and French, being able to do that. One of the other guest, Nikki Brooks, she took years of French. And so I think maybe it just deepens your experience of something.
Right.
So that's the second question. Yep. The first question is, I can't really speak to that. One, probably because I haven't traveled enough to be able to notice the nuance. But I have heard other people say that. But I think because
when it comes to family vacations, there are a million different trips you can take. You can get your own trip to Texas. Or if you prefer a vacation from your family, you can always get your own leave the kids with grandma trip to Texas. So go to traveltexas.com/get your own for the only trip to Texas that matters. Yours.
What do 8 bags of concrete mix, a cooler full of 30-pound sea bass, and a 10-inch compound miter saw have in common? They're all things that are easier to load in and out of the bed of the new F-150. Thanks to its new available Pro Access tailgate that's also a swing gate. The new 2024 Ford F-150. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Available starting early 2024. Pro Access tailgate available starting spring 2024. Cargo and load capacity limited by weight and weight distribution.
What makes a Carnival cruise fun? A picture-perfect beach day at Cozumel or a tropical adventure to Mayan ruins with snorkel excursion for good measure. A delectable surf and turf at sea, topped off with craft cocktails at Alchemy Bar. Now, get some Z's. You never know what tomorrow will bring. Why? Because no one does fun like Carnival. Carnival, choose fun.
Ships Registry, Bahamas, Panama.
GNC has the weight loss solutions you've been looking for, with no prescriptions, no sky-high costs, and no hassle. Hunger-satisfying, high-protein Total Lean Lean Shake 25 can help you feel fuller longer. And Slim Vance XP is clinically shown to help you shed pounds fast. See results in just 2 weeks. Try one or try them together. Start your weight loss journey today by visiting your local GNC. Or just pick up your phone and go to gnc.com. We're here to help you lose weight. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you travel for work, you know to pack 2 suits. Business and swim. You know with your Delta SkyMiles Business Amex card, buying that plane ticket for a business trip can get you closer to medallion status. You know that a meeting in Montana means visiting almost every national park.
Yellowstone? Check.
Because you're the chief excursion officer. It's why you're a Delta SkyMiles Platinum Business American Express card member. If you travel, you know. Terms apply. Visit go.amex/you-know-business.
Start clean with Clorox, because Clorox delivers a powerful clean every time. Because messes happen. Because...
Hey, honey, you know your dad's world-famous chili. Yeah, the one that takes 24 hours to make. So I was trying to help out and bring the pot to the table, but it was like super hot. And then I dropped it, and now the floor looks all, stained with chili. Look, the point is, you guys cool with pizza for dinner? Honey?
Ooh, yeah, that happens. So start clean with Clorox. Use Clorox products as directed.
If speaking English is an asset, then great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take that. And also, why not learn to speak other languages so that you have more fluidity in the world to be able to move around?
Okay. And so overall, what has your experience been like traveling while Black?
It's been amazing. One, because I've always been with other amazing people.
Okay.
Pick your travel people well. I'm telling you, don't.
Travel buddy is key.
Listen. So I think my experiences have been amazing because I have gone with people. I surround myself with amazing people that I enjoy being around who also enjoy life. And I think that that's a big chunk of it. I think the other part of it is, I'm always going to go into a space seeking what draws me and what attracts me versus what is not like me. Like, it's great that it's not like me. I don't need it to be.
Right.
The only place that I feel like, believe it or not, that I was kind of like, I could have took that or left that, was Argentina. Only because I found it boring. But there's still, with that, there were things about it that I loved. But I think that traveling while Black, have I had an experience where people were staring at me oddly no. But I will. Like, I want to have that experience too. I'm not shying away from that. Like, let's drop me in, I was going to say China. I don't know if I have the greatest desire to live in
height, so they won't look at you like you. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's all about, standing out.
5'6" she to stand up. We matter too.
But yeah, and the reason I ask this question is because everyone's experience is different, right? And a lot of times it's good to know because you have a lot of people that there were people on this trip. This was their first time out the country, let alone out the country onto the motherland.
Mm-hmm.
And so, there are still a lot of people out there in our community that don't know what to expect.
Sure.
That hasn't heard that within their own family, they don't know anybody that's traveled. And seeing faces that are similar to their own kind of helps with, all right, I'm going to get my passport. Please if you're listening today, apply for your passport as soon as possible. Don't wait till you're ready to travel. Passports are on a backlog. So please, please, please go ahead and fill out your passport, pay the $180 or something like that. Just so it might be different. It gone down. But please, you have photo ID, you have a license, you should always have a passport. Even if you are not planning on going anywhere, I think they're good for 5 years or 10. 10 years. You know, I just keep getting them done because I book them up with stamps. For me, I don't know how long it takes. I'm right near my third passport, but that's only because I started having. Listen, I've had a passport since I was 6, so every 10 years, so 30 years, it's about right. With that being said, what are some tips you would give somebody that's interested in traveling? Not a novice, not a person that's doing it. Somebody who's like brand new and they were like, "Hey, I want to travel." What would be your advice to them?
Talk to people who have traveled. The most fun that I have had, and even when we were all in Morocco and starting to talk about travel, because that's what you do when you're traveling, you talk about traveling. When I said, I'm going to come back, and you said, go here, right? Find me some people who travel. There are so many Black travel groups, and there's this podcast, but I think, again, our generation has resources. We have people who have actually been places now, right? So you can find those of us who have been to Panama, who have been to whatever country you're thinking about. I'm pretty sure that there is one of us has been there and is probably talking about it. So I say tap into Black travelers. Get on YouTube where so many people can vlog their experiences in other countries. It's a great resource. It's a great way to learn about places to go. And if you don't have someone in your immediate network, if you don't know somebody who knows somebody, get on YouTube, get online, look up Black travel sites. I think they're extremely informative.
Yeah, and Facebook, you'll find a boatload of expats that are more than happy to bring people that live like them around, teach them the different places to go. Because a lot of times, we only look at going places where only Black faces are. We're everywhere. And it's crazy that some people will kind of exclude the European countries because it's not Black centric. Well, there's a Black underground or a Black undertone in every city around the world, because at the end of the day, we find places that we like to come and we stay there, so being able to find the people and if the issue of traveling to different places because of Black faces is you don't know, just like Shibisha said, ask, because at the end of the day, you'll always find somebody somewhere, because Amsterdam, London, Ireland, Scotland, the UAE, Asia, we have expats. Think about it. Our people are in the military all the time. Like, we are good in the military. And we're literally bases around the world, such that fraternities and sororities are having, country-based chapters.
Wow. Okay.
So don't feel as though that, if you go to a predominantly Caucasian country or city, that you won't find faces that are similar to yours. You will.
Especially because America is predominantly Caucasian. We only 13% of this population, fam. We here. Yes, that's just about, you know what I mean? So, and also the Rathenow ad, start talking about the fact that you want to travel in general conversation. Because you never know who you were talking to. The people who were fixing the roof in my parents' home, they tell him, we're going to Morocco, so you'll have to finish the project. When we get back, we're going to have to take a break. He says, my sister lives there. They connect with his sister. That happened that quickly. You never know who you're talking to. So I say, for people who are new to traveling, start talking about I'm getting ready to start traveling. I want to go to these places, because then it will open you up to being able to hear those conversations. Don't limit yourself. Talk about it to the mailman, to the person at, like, literally, because you don't know if people know, right? You don't know if people know. So I would just say, just start to talk about it in general.
And like I said earlier, don't forget that passport. Get your passport as soon as possible. I mean, it's another form of ID.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can always leverage it to go anywhere you want. Also, some cruise lines require you to have your passport depending on some of the ports that they're going to. So, one more if you want.
My people who may have a situation that would perhaps prevent you from leaving U.S. territory.
Yeah, check that out first.
But there are U.S. territories in the Caribbean. You can go to Hawaii, like, just start to go to another state. Don't let the fact that you can't leave the continent be an impediment. Go to Canada, go to Mexico. Like,
you might not be able to make Canada. Canada's strict on letting certain, people in.
Look into it.
Yeah. So
look into it.
Look into your situation, and we're just gonna be quite transparent. Most felons can't get into Canada. All right. Most felons may not be able to get a passport to get out the country. So they may be changing the law soon, hopefully, right? But given your background, understand, go to Hawaii. It's not a limitation, right? It's not a limitation to travel. You got Puerto Rico. You can go with a photo ID.
U.S. Virgin
Islands, a photo ID. You can travel on cruises with a photo ID.
Mm-hmm.
So, don't think that just because you don't have a passport or you're not traveling overseas to another country, makes your travel experience any less. I mean, I traveled to the West Coast. I traveled to Florida. We road tripped during the pandemic. And, it's all about experiencing something new outside of your own location.
I would agree.
And being able to broaden your horizon. I mean, exposure leads to experiences. Experiences lead to a new way of thinking. And it's all about, look, there are people that look just like you and I all around the world, and they're going through some of the same issues. You'll be surprised. The only difference is language.
I'm with you.
So with that said, where can people find you and learn more about this growth potential, this growth program that you're working on?
Do find her.
I'm trying to reach out to her so that we can get things started. So,
I'm on LinkedIn. It's the best place to find me, honestly. I'm on there often.
So that's Shibisha Johnson on LinkedIn.
There's only one of me. So if you put in Shibisha Johnson, you will find me.
However you choose, we'll get back to you.
We'll get back to me. But yeah, LinkedIn, reach out to me there. I'm on it pretty regularly.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Once again, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. If you don't know, click that notification bell so you guys know when new episodes drop. With that said, out more, stay safe. Peace.
When it comes to family vacations, there are a million different trips you can take. You can get your own trip to Texas. Or if you prefer a vacation from your family, you can always get your own leave the kids with grandma trip to Texas. So go to traveltexas.com/get-your-own for the only trip to Texas that matters. Yours.
If you travel for work, you know to pack 2 suits. Business and swim. You know with your Delta SkyMiles Business Amex card, buying that plane ticket for a business trip can get you closer to medallion status. You know that a meeting in Montana means visiting almost every national park.
Yellowstone? Check.
Because you're the chief excursion officer. It's why you're a Delta SkyMiles Platinum Business American Express card member. If you travel, you know. Terms apply. Visit go.amex/you-know-business.
Introducing Celebration Key, your key to paradise. Unlock Carnival's all-new exclusive destination at Grand Bahama, where you can dive into clear lagoons, try all the water sports, or unwind on a mile-long pristine beach with breathtaking sunset views. This vacation paradise has it all. Celebration Key, welcoming guests in summer 2025. Carnival, choose fun.
Copyright 2024 Carnival Corporation, all rights reserved. Ships registry, the Bahamas and Panama.